All right, so today we're diving into just a single document, but believe me, it tells a heck of a story. It's from the California Board of Accountancy, and it's all about one certified public accountant, one company retirement plan, and a major breach of trust that put an entire career right on the edge. This is the case of CPA license number 25980.
Okay, so get this. The very first lines of the official decision are, well, they're incredibly dramatic. The license is revoked, but that revocation is stayed. It's basically a cliffhanger written in legal jargon. A professional life is just hanging by a thread. His career is over, but he's been given this one last, very shaky chance to save it.
So right away, you're probably asking two things, right? First, what in the world does a stayed revocation actually mean? And maybe more importantly, what could a CPA, someone we're all supposed to trust with our money, do to end up in a spot like this? We'll get to that first question in a bit, but let's start by unpacking the story of the CPA we're going to call Mr. Smith.
So where did this all begin? Well, this wasn't some simple paperwork mistake. No, this whole thing kicked off with a formal complaint from an assistant U.S. trustee, part of the Department of Justice. And you know, when the DOJ gets involved, the stakes are always high.
At the absolute heart of this case is a really fundamental idea: fiduciary duty. It's a fancy term, but all it means is you have a legal and ethical promise to put someone else's interest first. As the guy in charge of his own firm's 401k plan, Mr. Smith had that duty to his employees. It was the entire foundation of their trust in him.
The State Board of Accountancy took that broken trust and spelled it out in 4 very specific charges. This wasn't just a single mistake. They alleged a whole range of things, from misappropriating funds to straight-up filing false reports to cover his tracks.
So how did this breach of trust actually happen? Well, the investigation did what you always do. It followed the money. Specifically, it followed the money that was supposed to be going from employees' paychecks straight into their 401k retirement accounts.
And here it is, the simple but devastating fact at the center of this whole case. The Smith firm was deducting 401k contributions from its employees' pay. They could see the money leave their checks, and they assumed it was safe, growing for their future. But it wasn't. That money just wasn't making it to their retirement accounts like it was supposed to.
And the scale of this problem was, well, it was huge. The board's investigation found that just between 2017 and 2021, almost $68,000 in employee contributions weren't deposited on time. This was not a small, one-time oops. To really put that into perspective, just imagine this. Money gets taken out of your paycheck today, but it might not actually show up in your retirement account for another year and a half. For some of Mr. Smith's employees, that was the reality. An 18-month delay is an absolute eternity when you're talking about investing. And this is the real tangible cost to the employees. It's not just about the deposits being late, it's about what that money could have been doing. Because their contributions were just sitting on the sidelines instead of being in the market, they lost out on over $8,000 in potential growth. That's money they'll never see again.
You know, federal law is crystal clear about this stuff. That retirement money should have been separated and deposited within about 7 business days. But that's not what was going on. Instead, the money was just mixed in with the company's other accounts. Mr. Smith was essentially using his employees' retirement savings as an interest-free, unsecured loan to pay his firm's bills.
And get this wasn't a recent issue. The documents show a pattern going back to at least 2015. For years, Mr. Smith was allegedly failing to make these payments on time. And year after year, he signed and filed official forms under penalty of perjury, falsely claiming everything was fine. This wasn't just a mistake, it was a sustained deception.
So when he was faced with this mountain of evidence from the Department of Justice and the State Board, what did Mr. Smith do? He admitted to the truth of every single charge. And that admission is what led to that stayed revocation order we saw right at the top.
So what does it take to keep his license? Well, for 3 years, he's living under a microscope. He has to obey all laws, of course. He's got to pay back the state for their investigation costs, pay restitution back to the plant, and he has to complete ethics training. His entire practice is now subject to monitoring, and any slip-up could mean that stay is lifted and his license is revoked for good.
So, after all that, why did we focus on this one case? Because the story of CPA license 25980 is a powerful, real-world example of the systems that are designed to protect us and what happens when they're actually forced to step in and act.
When it all comes down to it, this case is about a simple truth. That fiduciary duty thing isn't just a suggestion, it's a legal shield. These rules are there to prevent exactly this kind of thing, where a professional treats employee retirement funds like a personal piggy bank. And this case shows that when that shield gets broken, there are consequences.
This financial summary is really striking. I mean, look at the numbers. On one side, you have over $83,000 in untimely contributions in just a 3-year window. And on the other, you have the financial penalties from the settlement, less than $6,000 in costs and under $3,000 in restitution. The contrast between the scale of the misconduct and the fines is stark, and it really raises questions about the true cost of what happened here.
And that brings us to our final, lingering question. This pattern of behavior went on for years before a federal complaint finally stopped it. It just highlights how much trust we place in financial professionals every single day, with our retirement, our savings, our entire future. This one case was caught, which just leaves you to wonder how many others aren't.
If you like this video, please subscribe.